welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the movie A Quiet Place Part 2. Now this is a sequel to the 2018 film A Quiet Place, which I saw in the theaters and I did enjoy that too. Now I must admit I really did enjoy this sequel. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's a direct sequel to the original film, and it actually picks up apparently right after the events of the first film, because you can see things that happened in the previous film they actually continue right on into like this film, which I think is kind of awesome that they did that way. Now it's still directed by John Krasinski, and he was the same guy that directed the first one. At the same time, like the family itself must still continue to survive against like these creatures, and I don't want to go into like the creatures too much themselves if people haven't seen the first one, because it kind of is like spoiler territory. But you do have the director John Krasinski. I think that's how you pronounce it. He returns to direct the film, and he also returns in the film too as well, because there's like an opening, like a flashback sequence. They kind of detail the events of what happened before A Quiet Place actually happened, like the first film. So they actually get to see a look at how the I don't want to go into it because it's kind of spoiler territory, about how like the creatures arrived and like when everything started falling apart and they started like destroying like and terrorizing the people and so on. And I thought it was pretty awesome how they showed that, because now they can actually bring back characters from the previous film into this film. Now you also have Emily Blunt, who returns in the film too, as well as the main character known as Evelyn. She also has her two kids with her too as well, like her daughter and her son, and she also has like the baby that she is still carrying too, because she had like a baby. And then you also have like an introduction of a new character known as Emmett, and he's played by Cillian Murphy. And he was actually a friend of the character that John Krasinski played in the film, like in the first film. And he's also, like I said, in this film too, in the flashback sequence, because that's when we were actually introduced to the character for Emmett, played by Cillian Murphy, during the flashback sequence. So he actually did know like this family. So she actually does eventually run into cross him, Evelyn, she does eventually come across Emmett like later on, like I think over a year later. And of course they have to join together and survive and so on, against all these creatures and so on. But I thought this was a pretty awesome film. Now Djimon Hounsou, he shows up in the film too as well. Now it's a spoiler territory, but like his role itself is kind of limited, so he's not really in the film that much. But I just leave it at that. But he does show up in the film. Now as the film goes on, we get to see like more like weaknesses and flaws of the actual creatures themselves too, which I thought was pretty cool too. You get to see like more detailed things about how they can stop the creatures and what is the creature's weakness. Cause I think some of the things that they mentioned wasn't in the first one, but now you can see some of the other things like that makes the creatures like vulnerable, and it shows the ways that the humans can actually defeat these creatures. And this is spoiler territory, which are aliens. If you haven't seen the first film, but it was a very well-paced film. I like the look of the film. Like I said, it didn't really like feel slow or dull at any moments, and it does have some truly like terrifying moments with the creatures themselves. There really are some scary moments throughout the film. Now one of the things I still think is kind of odd about the film, what kind of brings it down so and keeps it from being like an actually excellent film, is the idea that the creatures themselves, it still seems like why isn't there like a army of like military people or something like that, they can take these creatures out, because the creatures themselves seems to be kind of like isolated, and of course they are drawn to like sound, so if you make a lot of noise, that's when they'll come and attack, and they are like isolated creatures. You only see like one or two of them like here and there. They're not like a whole bunch of like army of them like creatures, so that's why I say it seemed kind of odd that they can't really easily defeat these creatures. It's like everything something seems kind of off about it. But this is another spoiler alert too as well. This is definitely left open for a sequel. I really did like how it ended, because we can definitely look forward to like a third A Quiet Place. And I must admit, I really did enjoy this a lot. I think this is an awesome new franchise. I'm enjoying these two films, so I definitely can't wait to see like the third one. But in the end, A Quiet Place Part 2, and like I said, with like other things about the film I thought was just so cool. Like one of the scenes for Evelyn's like son, I forget what his name was. Yeah, Marcus. He actually gets like injured, and I thought that was just an interesting scene, the way he got injured. His leg got stuck in his trap, and he was like screaming because he was in so much pain, and she was trying to stop him from like screaming because it would draw like the creatures. So I thought that was just such an awesome moment, because being that he was like a kid and he was just in so much pain from getting his foot caught in that trap, so I thought that was another just awesome. It was just something like awesome about that moment. But in A Quiet Place, I'm giving this a solid B. I really did like this a lot, and if you're a fan of the first film, I'm sure you'll like this one too as well. I really did enjoy this a lot. I'm definitely looking forward to a part 3 if they do it, if it's like a succession well. So I'm giving this a solid B. I would definitely recommend this. I liked it a lot. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.